W2FJH, bringing up the STNY Digital VoiceNet on Brandmatch Talk Group 31367, Wires X Room 83721, and on Zoom. The primary purpose of the STNY Digital VoiceNet is to help foster an active digital voice community in the southern tier of New York and to provide a forum for those that are interested or have questions regarding various digital voice topics. While this net is primarily for the southern tier, all stations are more than welcome to check in. This net meets weekly on Sundays at 7 p.m. Again, the call is Whiskey 2, Foxtrot Juliet Hotel, and the name here is Frank. We'll first take a standby for any stations with emergency or priority traffic. Please call now. All right, nothing heard there. If there is any emergency or priority traffic during this net, please give a call sign followed by the word break spoken 2 times. Please leave a 4 to 5 second pause between transmissions for breaking stations or for those who wish to disconnect this talk group. This is a directed net, and the format will follow announcements, questions, and comments. This net utilizes NetLogger, which can be found at netlogger.org. NetLogger is not required, and we will take additional voice check-ins. For more information about this net or to join the Zoom meeting, please visit stnydmr.net. That's Sierra Tango November Yankee Delta Mike Romeo.net. You can also find us on 73.net. That's Sierra Echo Victor Echo November numeric number 3.net. This net will prioritize short time, mobile, in and out, or emergency power stations, followed by NetLogger check-ins, followed by voice check-ins. We currently do have 2 stations checked in through NetLogger, so the net would like to recognize W3TEZ Ryan and N3OJP Nick. All right, when checking in, please give your call sign, your name, and your location. So let's take a standby for any stations that are short time, mobile, in and out, or emergency power. Please call now. All right, nothing heard there. So let's open it up for any station that would like to check into the STNY Digital VoiceNet this evening. Please call now.
Into NRA, Cliff and Waverly.
This is NE2W, Ed in Binghamton.
And 2RWH, Ed in Binghamton.
All right, and we have N2 NRA Cliff, NE2W Ed, Ed K, and N2 RWH Ed F. All right, if there's any other stations to join this evening, please call now. All right, then, nothing heard, so we will jump right into announcements. If there's any announcements for the net this evening, please call now. All right, no announcements, so we'll move on to questions. If there's any questions for the net this evening, please call now. All right, nothing heard. So we will move in for comments. On the net topic this evening, I was talking with a fellow ham around the area, and I would like to get a feeling for if I'm kind of the only one in the area that would like to get a DMR repeater in the air or not. But we are talking about interest in getting a DMR repeater in the air in the southern tier. Would you use it regularly? And additionally, would you be willing to help support it in either through maintenance or financially for the initial investment, or say if we did a GoFundMe, if you would contribute, even a small amount, 20, 30, 40, 100 or whatever you would be willing to help support with the initial, because it is pretty costly. So, just getting some feedback in the area if there's a lot of support to get one in the area now. So, we will kick things off with Ryan at W3TEZ. How was your week?
W3TEZ. Well, it was a busy week, like usual. It's going to be another busy one this week because I got a lot of running around to do, and I got to go pick up some paperwork tomorrow morning, and then I got to go over to the used car lot that I was at yesterday and pick up my new vehicle because I'm downsizing from the pickup trucks. I'm getting out of it. And got a really good deal on a 2015 Jeep Cherokee with a V6 in it, about 38,000 miles on it. Full blown warranty, covers everything because gas prices are going to be going up again. I heard something through some guys I work with about them. I think New York State's taking the cap off of the tax cap off of something with the gas price. I got to do a little reading up on that. But and plus summertime's going to be coming, so the gas is going to be going up. I anticipate, and I don't know. My truck's a pig on gas, so got to downsize to something smaller. But other than that, I do want to put it out there. I still have it sitting in my closet. I'm looking for a buyer for it because I'm not going to use it. I have a Icom D-Star 2-meter repeater with the matching controller and the hookup cables for everything. You just have to provide your own gateway computer and get yourself the gateway software for it. I'm actually looking for a really fair, cheap price for the whole setup. Um, because the two together on eBay, people want stupid money for them. But I'm not going to do anything with it, and I'd like to use the money I get out of it to fund a Motorola 900 DMR repeater because I'm looking to put up a 900 megahertz along with the 440 I got here.
Okay, very good there, Ryan. And yeah, so there is on 7.3 there is a buy sell trade space. It's kind of all organized. 7.3 doesn't do anything with cash transactions or credit cards or anything like that. It's all just kind of between the hams. It's just kind of a space. But maybe a suggestion is if anybody in the southern tier is looking for that, or I do know that there's several other websites for hams to buy, sell, trade on. And yeah, definitely a good move. I kind of my rule of thumb is kind of gas prices always seem to go up after an election. Seems like they always go down for the election, then they kind of rise back up after the election. Uh, Sometimes not immediately, but the following year you always see the gas prices go back up. Or at least my personal opinion there. So, all right, next on my list is N3OJP. Mick, how was your week?
Well, good evening, Frank. Everyone on the net here. Yeah, I would chip in on a repeater. Although I'm down here in Pennsylvania, I do get upstate, well, mostly in Chautauqua County, but I do get across on occasion. But in the spirit of 7-3, yeah, I would definitely donate. Week was good. Boy, weather was up and down. We had, what, 60 degrees, I think, early Wednesday, then the bottom fell out. Went down into the 20s, and we had a lot of wind. In fact, one of my end-fed wires come down on one of my antennas. Not the wire, but the cable. and it had branched over a tree. That actually broke. I had it tied off to a small tree, of course, near the ground. That tree fell over with the wind, so oh well. I got it all down today. I have to get the fishing rod out again and toss it up there. But today was nice. It was in the mid 60s, and got outside. Boy, I got to get my legs back from being a little dormant all winter. I did get out fishing a couple times, but oh, that'll come. I got some things to do outside tomorrow. It's supposed to be in the 70s, I think, here. And other than that, I have a daughter. One of them went to Colorado for a week last week and went skiing. Her boyfriend's a real skier. You know, he takes the top courses, so they had a lot of fun. Other than that, not too much. Taking some Tai Chi lessons, and then do some Friday night digital FL Digi. So that's been about it. Just looking at some TSK now. It looks like it's going from 20 meters to 40 meters. But yeah, I'd help out with the repeater, Frank. Back to you. W2FJH N30JP.
Hey, thanks there, Milk, and good to know there. Yeah, it's just kind of in the talks right now. But we'll see. It'd be nice to get one, and also just instead of everybody with hotspots, it'd be nice to actually have one at least cover a good portion of hams. And this way, we have other digital options in the area as well. And yeah, I mentioned about the skiing there. Like that's really good. It's always great to have different hobbies there, and we got one of the good ones here too in ham radio. So hi. So, all right. Next on my list is N2NRA Cliff. How was your week?
This is N2NRA, Cliff Waverly. Oh, it was kind of busy. Wife had cataract surgery Friday and been doing the drops in her eyes. And warm week. And I see rain's going to start this Tuesday, and it'll be in the low 60s. And Mick there, if he should have been here to get all the worms in my front yard there from the rain, dries them out, and you could use that for fishing. So otherwise, not too much going on. Interesting about the GMRS radio. Didn't know much about it. The $70 fee and channel 16 and 19 they monitor traffic. So yeah, very good. We'll be looking into that. This is N2RA back to net control.
Hey, that's good to hear the wife's doing okay there. And yeah, GMRS is kind of an interesting, kind of a lot of hands. They don't look into it, or they're not, because we have a kind of a bigger license, bigger more frequencies available to us. But GMRS, I actually hold a GMRS license as well, just because if I need to talk to the wife or somebody else in the family, I can easily hand them a GMRS radio and say, hey, be on channel 16, be on channel 17, and they know how to use it. If I give them a ham radio, you know, they're not supposed to be on it anyways, And in a time of emergency, that's the only time they would be able to use it. I don't think they'd be able to operate it. Or GMRS radios are fairly straightforward, fairly simple. It's what number you're on, and the only thing that might be confusing is the CT CSS tones. They call them privacy tones. But that's about it. Fairly easy to use, and I know a lot of hunters, fishermen, stuff like that use GMRS. So it's kind of to me it's kind of the more activity driven radio there. But all right, before I get to my next station on my list here, let's take a quick standby to see if there's any additional stations that would like to check into the STNY digital voice this evening. Please call now. Okay, another heard there, so we will move on down the list to N2N. Sorry, Let's start that again. NE2W, Ed, how was your week there?
Oh, very good evening, Frank, and hello to everybody on the net this evening. Good week. Not too happy with the weather. It got cold and wet, but next week looks a lot better. Uh, did some traveling out to Sky Lake in Windsor. They've got a couple windmills up on the hill there, and nice to get out in the countryside a little bit. Uh, yeah, the repeater, DMR repeater sounds like a great idea. I'd be glad to support it. It's really nice. I know I was down in Scranton and there was a DMR net, for example, and that wasn't a problem. I was able to check in with my Android using DroidStar. Then sometime later, DroidStar did an update, and it wouldn't work on my Samsung Galaxy 6 anymore. It's funny how updates come along, and if you have an older laptop or an older device, all of a sudden it stops working. They don't. So I uninstalled it and found the older version of DroidStar and put that on and told the phone not to update automatically. So it works fine now. I think it'd be really good uh, because we don't have a way out of the area to connect into the area, and it would help users on 2-meter FM who don't know digital to get some insight into it. Be great to make that connection. And for example, say you're traveling, uh, you're heading back home, you're leaving from D.C. in the morning. You might want to call ahead and say, what's the weather like, and you'd be able to do it if you had a DMR interface into the repeater. Now, whether you need a whole repeater or there's enough, we have enough. I want to call it. I think you've coined the term island repeaters. We have enough of those that are silent all day long. Uh, I know you need a DMR repeater like a Bridgecom or something, but I guess just see what the possibilities are. It'd be tough putting it all new. Perhaps one of the existing ones with good coverage wouldn't mind a interface through the back door, if you will, to DMR. That's about all I have. Back to you, Frank. Good group tonight. This is NE2W.
Hey, very good there, Ed. And yeah, you might know the local ham. Well, I know you know the local ham. It's Ford, AB2HS. I was messaging him about the presentation he had, and I just if I've heard from numerous hams here, especially on the net. They've asked if there's a DMR repeater in the area, and I always kind of have to say no. It'd be nice. And yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what I was thinking. That there's a lot of analog repeaters in the area, and Ford laid it out pretty well that, duplexers, feed lines, antennas, where you're going to put it, what the site, if there's any, paying for electricity for the site or anything like that. There's a lot of extra, add-ons on top of what it is. But I was looking for if there's any uh, repeater owners that have an analog one, that we could potentially just swap out just the radio. Keep the duplexers, keep the feed lines, keep the antenna, keep the site location. I know of one that already has internet access there as well. Um, and we would just try to come up with the funding and just replace the radio. And hey, out of the deal, the repeater owner, we're putting in a brand new Bridgecom repeater, into the system there. So anything, if it catastrophic happens, they still have their old radios sitting nearby. All you do is swap the SO239 connector into the old repeater, and away you go. We got out of it. But that was my idea, but I just wanted to see if I was the only one that was kind of willing to support it and willing to try to get one up in the air. So I think it's a good turnout so far this evening. So All right, getting on to the next on my list is the other Ed F. So N2 RWH. How was your week there?
And to RWH here. Not a bad week. I can't complain. Other than that, um, I would certainly be interested in supporting a DMR repeater. Um, there. Um, Other than that, not too much going on. Kind of enjoying the weather. Hopefully, next week won't be so bad. Doesn't look like it, but no complaints here. So I will turn it back to you, Frank, and to RWH.
All right, very good there, Ed. All right, I have reached the end of my list, so let's take another standby to see if there's any additional stations that would like to check into the STNY Digital Voice Net this evening. Please call now. All right, nothing heard there. So let's make this final call here for any additional let me not say final call. Let me just open it up for any additional stations or any stations that have checked in with additional comments, questions, or concerns. Please call now.
This is N30JP comment.
Yeah, N30JP, fire away with your comments, sir.
Thanks, Frank. Yeah, Ryan mentioned Jeep Cherokee. My daughter has one. She got it last year or the year before. She just loves it. So, plus it's good in the North Country too. But I posted. There's another way to use Echolink, and it's called Echolink Web. And I posted a link in the meeting comments as well as on 7.3, and where you can put Echolink, right on your laptop. And the audio is a little better. I've got it on my phone. I've also got the other Echolink version on my computers also, but this one works pretty good. And for those of you that are into Echolink or if you want to get into it, it's pretty simple. Just follow the link, and then you can download the software. It's quick, and it's got a pretty good place there where you can look up stations and everything. You can do searches and see what's out there. But just another way to use Echolink. I use it. It's good if I'm on the road or something and I want to check in back home to the one repeater. We've had it on the one repeater, I don't know, good 12, 13, 14 years. So we get check-ins from North Carolina. I think some of the islands in the Caribbean, we get a couple check-ins into the club. So it's worthwhile. That's all I got, Frank. I'll turn it back to you. W2FJHN30JP.
Hey, very good there, Mick, and thanks for that. I see the link there. I'll have to check it out there. Actually, as you were mentioning it there, I remember that W3TEZ, I think. I'm trying to look back through my notes here. I think it was a couple weeks ago that there was a question about if the Southern Tier talk group was on any DMR repeaters in the upstate New York area. And I think you had mentioned, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'll send it over to you here in just a second. But I thought you said that there was a repeater around the Buffalo area that actually did have the Southern Tier talk group on there as well. Um, hopefully, hopefully I'm not mixing up call signs there, but I'll send it over to you and see if I'm remembering things correctly.
Frank, I think you were going to turn it over to Ryan, W3TEZ.
Yes, that was correct. W3TEZ, Ryan, you still around?
W3TEZ portable on 444375. Yes, I am. I'm just sitting here checking some emails, and I just logged into 7.3 real quick.
Okay, I just had a question for you there. I'm not sure if you heard my last transmission before, but I was looking. I thought there was a discussion we had a couple weeks ago, and I'm not finding it in my notes here. But I thought either you were answering or you were asking if there was a Southern Tier talk group out in the Buffalo, New York area. Um, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong there, but isn't there a repeater out that way that has the Southern Tier talk group as a static talk group?
Yes, it's this repeater that I'm coming in on. It's out in Colden, New York, out at the same repeater site as East Coast Reflector Repeaters 444.1 and 146.835. This is 444375, and we're running the omnidirectional antenna at the top of the tower at that site on this Motorola XPR 8400. And yes, we do have Southern Tier 31367 static full time on this repeater on time slot 2. And on time slot 1, we have talk group 2. We call it local 2, and we have a cluster on Brandmeister called WNY cluster. And if you have a repeater on Brandmeister and you want to tie into us full time, if you don't want to use Motorola IP Site Connect, you can um, add cluster on your repeater configuration page on Brandmeister and put that cluster on whichever time slot you want, and you will have to use Talk Group 2 full time.
Okay, very good there, Ryan, and good to know. I have, I mean, I've just had some hot spots myself, but I have actually seen some options for a cluster before. Just some more information to relay back that the Southern Tier Talk group actually is on other repeater sites in the Buffalo area, back to AB2HS Ford. So good to know. I did jot a few notes there down. And yeah, we can always talk about the cluster too if it comes to fruition here about getting one in the air. So, all right, this is W203H with the STNY Digital Voice Net, and yeah, let's make this final call here for any additional stations that would like to check in, or any stations that have checked in with additional comments, questions, or concerns. Please call now.
At control, please check in Kilo Charlie 2 Hotel Sierra Uniform in and out. Good evening. I have another comment, Frank. This is at NE2W.
Okay, then I would like to recognize TC2HSU. Thanks for stopping by there, Chris. I have you checked in and out. And Ed, NE2W, fire away with your comments there.
Okay, thank you, Frank. I just wanted to mention that we were talking about Echolink. I have a way to get Echolink. Well, Echolink is free for your iPhone There is a paid app called Repeater Phone that also supports Echolink and Allstar. I like it. It works really well, and it gives me a way to access not just Echolink but also Allstar with my iPhone. It's cost around $8, but I found it's worth it, and it's just wanted to pass along the information about Repeater Phone, the STNY 2W.
And thanks, Ed. And yeah, definitely, it's a good option. I mean, $8 is fairly cheap. Definitely a good option for. I always personally like the multiple ways to get in. That if this fails, what if this breaks? What if I can't get in this way? I have other options. If my hotspot breaks, I can't get in through my radio, I can get in through my cell phone. And things along those lines. I always like having multiple ways in. So definitely good to have Echo Link and All Star for $8. I personally don't have an iPhone, but I would like an app for Android that actually could do both of them myself. So. All right, yeah, make this final call here. Any additional stations to check in, or any stations have checked in with additional comments, questions, or concerns before we close the net? Please call now. All right, now the nerds, so we will wrap things up here. I'd like to thank Ryan, Mick, Cliff, Ed K, and Ed F, and Chris as well for stopping by this evening. We'll be returning this talk group back to normal amateur radio use. Everybody have a great and safe week there. This is WTOP